Hi, and welcome to our December free SEO training. I am so excited to have you here and so glad that you are spending part of your Monday morning with me. Today, we're going to talk about how to prepare for 2022 from an SEO and content perspective. So if you have a website or you have a blog, or you're planning on having a website or a blog in 2022, then this is going to be a great training for you. I'm Rachel Lindhagen, president and founder of Etched Marketing and Etched Marketing Academy, and I'm so glad to have you here with me today. Grab your pen and paper. We are going to jump in. I want to walk you through some exercises that I've done with my clients for many, many years to help us craft our strategy for the upcoming year. So when we start talking about crafting strategy for the new year, we start with a review of our current performance. So what you're going to want to look at, you're going to want to get pretty familiar with Google Analytics. I'm hoping you have it and you know how to access it. If not, it's something I teach in my full SimpleSEO program, so you can always learn how to do this to be ready to do it for 23. So don't worry. So what you're going to want to look at is Google Analytics and your keyword ranking reports for any of your terms that you are currently working on optimizing for, that you're trying to rank higher in Google. So you're going to want to look at Google Analytics to figure out what content does your audience like, and more importantly, what content do they not like. Now, you can also do this on your social media, so you can look at your Instagram, your YouTube, your Facebook insights to do the same thing to see, do they like the same content on social as they like on my web or my website or my blog, or do they like something different? But for this particular process, I want you to look just at Google Analytics. So what you're going to do to figure out, do they like it or do they not like it? You're going to look at your Google Analytics for the entire year. So 2021 year to date. Fine to do this in December. For some of us, December is a nice quiet month. For others, it's crazy busy. If you're like a Shopify seller, a handmade seller, e-commerce, you're probably not going to do this in December. You might do it the first week or two of January when you can catch your breath. But if December is quiet for you, it's a great time to go ahead and do it. Do year to date 2021. I want you to go into Google Analytics and go into your pages information. So you're going to go into the content drill down. It's on the left-hand side. If you're not familiar with where to access it, it's on the left side. You're going to want to look at content drill down all pages, and you want to look at your top performing posts. And we're going pages or posts, either one. And we're going to look at them in a couple different ways. So go ahead and choose whatever number of them you want to look at a time. Do you prefer 10, 25, 50, however it is, go ahead and set that so that's what you can see. You're going to want to look to see which content gets the most traffic. So of the blog posts that I'm creating, which ones are people engaging with the most? Which ones are getting the most traffic? You're going to want to look which ones are they spending the most time on. So that time on site or time on page, that's really important because that's how we start to figure out, do they like what we're creating? Then you want to look at your bounce rate for each post. Your bounce rate is how many people come to that first page of your website and leave. So that means how many come to that one page or that one blog post, get the information they're looking for and leave. They don't go to another page. Then you also want to look at your exit rate. Your exit rate is how many people leave your website from this particular page or post, because that's going to help you understand, again, do they like it or do they not like it? So what you want to look at here is how many people are coming to your blog, which blog posts or which website pages are they reading, which ones are they spending the most time with, and then you want to see if it's a long blog post, maybe it's 1,500 words, it would take you a couple minutes to read it, but they're only spending like 12 seconds, they don't like it, they're not engaging with it. It's not either, it's maybe ranking for something that isn't super relevant, which happens once in a while, it's not real common, or they don't find value, or it's formatted in a way that they look at it and it's like overkill and it's too hard for them to read it. So look at your posts and kind of get a feeling for what's going on. What do they like? What don't they like? Then you're going to want to look at those ones they don't like, and you're going to want to kind of figure out, go take a look at the actual page or the actual blog post. Is it hard to read? Like from a readability standpoint, are there lots of small blocks of text? If it's block after block after block of text, or long blocks of text, there's nothing breaking it up. There's no pictures, there's no images, there's no videos, there's no bullet points, things like that. You may just truly have a readability problem. You may have a great blog post. You just need to make it more user-friendly. So go ahead and try that. Like write that down as a priority item you want to look at. Do I want to refresh this blog post? If it's working really well, then we want to take note of that, because this is the type of content that our ideal customer really likes. So then we want to know, okay, this could potentially be something that we want to create more of in the future. That's your first thing, is figure out what content they like, what content they don't like. Take notes, look for patterns, look to see what's working and what's not working. Then you're going to want to look at your rankings. If you've been tracking your rankings this year, what keywords are going up, what keywords are going down. Keyword ranking is pretty volatile. It's going to change. You're not likely going to see it go up, 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 and never slip down. But what you want to see is over time, you want to see a pattern that continues to go up, not down. So you want to look and see, how are your keywords that you're working on working? Are there keywords that you've been working on that are not going up the way that you had hoped they would? Do they potentially correlate with one of those pages that's maybe getting traffic, but it's not converting? Maybe people are here and they're popping away real quick. Then maybe, again, you have a problem with the actual page itself. So you're going to want to look at all of this and try to figure out which keyword is ranking, which page is it ranking for. Most of your ranking tools, or at least your paid tools, will show you your keyword along with which page ranks for it. So that'll help you figure out, am I getting traffic that makes sense? Is there something I need to change? Is there something I need to do different? How are you ranking for your most important keywords? Where are you at? Are you ranking for them, or are you still fighting, trying to rank? Maybe you've worked on it, but it's not working yet. So we want to look at that. And then we want to look at, are there opportunities for other keywords? Have you done some additional keyword research? Have you identified some additional keywords that you could potentially go after? So this is kind of all we start looking at from a review standpoint. What content do they like? What content don't they like? Of the content that they like and they don't like, how is it formatted? Is it user-friendly? Is it readable? Does it give them information that they need? What keywords are ranking? What keywords are not ranking? What keywords have started moving? What keywords really still need some help? What keywords do I have that I want to target that maybe I haven't targeted yet? You're going to make a bunch of notes for yourself so that you know kind of where you're at today. Because what we're going to look at then is, how do we prioritize and how do we figure out what to do based on what's going to be the most important for SEO in 2022. And what's going to be the most important for SEO in 2022 are the same things that are really critical right now. Number one is to create content that is what your ideal customer needs and is looking for. That's number one. And to write for your customer. Don't ever write just for a search engine, because when you write for a search engine, you write crummy copy. You guys, we've all read it. Don't write that. Write good copy. Write for a human being. Write for your ideal customer. You will do better if you do that. Number two, you're going to want to build links to your website or your blog, and you're going to want to build them in a very careful, very strategic standpoint, very strategic manner. You want to be sure that the links that you're building are ones that appear very natural to Google, because link building itself can be a little on the risky side. As your website starts to build, you're going to get emails from people saying, I can get you this number of links for this amount of money. Would you take this kind of guest blog post? I can do this for you. I don't want you to take those offers, because so many of those tactics are outdated. There are things that can get you in trouble with Google. There are things that we had penalties on 8 to 10 years ago. You don't want to do it, okay? So your link building, you really want to think again, your ideal customer. What other websites would they go to? Where else might they find out about you? What else can you do to write for somebody who's within your industry? I teach a whole big section on this in my SimpleSEO program, because you have to get this the right way. So don't buy links. That's your most important thing. Do not buy links. Build them in a very natural way. Think of your website's link profile as your neighborhood. Because it's your website's neighborhood. You want to make sure that the links in there make sense like they would in a neighborhood. Number 3, most important thing for 2022 is to optimize every piece of content that you want a potential customer to find, so that Google can find it, crawl it, understand it, and ultimately share it with more people. If you are creating content and you're not optimizing it, you are missing out, okay? You are leaving money on the table. You are missing potential customers. If you are putting time and effort into writing blog posts, but you are not doing keyword research, you are not writing title tags and meta descriptions, you are missing out. And I want you to promise yourself that you will stop doing that in 2022. You deserve to get the traffic for the amount of work that you're putting in. If you are writing blog posts and creating a website, you need to take that final step to optimize everything so that your potential customers can find you and your business can grow. So promise me, you are not going to do any content that does not have optimization, okay? So I just want to know, real quick poll, are you currently optimizing all of the content that you're creating, or not yet, but you will be doing it soon? So let's jump in now. What should your strategy be for 2022? We've talked about how we figure out what we need to do for SEO, how we do a review of 2021. We've talked about the 3 most important things for 2022. Now let's jump in and look at what your strategy should be, okay? So what you're going to want to do, if you have not optimized your entire website, making sure you've gone back, you followed the Google keyword rules, you know what they are, you have chosen keywords that you know your website can rank for, you've learned the process that I teach you in class, you know that you can rank for the keywords, you're only optimizing for that one keyword on a maximum of 2 pages on your website, like you're on it. Your title tags are the right length, your meta descriptions are the right length, your image file names all have your keyword in them, like you've done it all. Then I want you to go through and prioritize any pages that are not fully optimized, any pages that you have not optimized following the formulas that I teach you. So if you have any that you did previously that you think you did, but you probably should check them a little closer, go ahead and write those down. You can export your data from analytics, from GA, which is what I do. I export that pages report so I know from a priority standpoint which pages are getting the most traffic. And then I also look in my reporting tool which pages have the most opportunity to rank, which pages are maybe at the bottom of page 1 that if I could get them ranking a little higher, they could bring a lot more traffic to my website or to my client's website. So you want to look at that and you want to prioritize based on 2 things. One is your potential to increase ranking. So if you have a keyword that is on page 1 near the bottom or page 2 near the top, those are generally considered to be low-hanging fruit. And those are keywords that we can usually bring up and get higher on page 1 with some proper optimization, some updated content, and some strategic keyword targeting. So those become low-hanging fruit. Those become things that we want to focus on. So you're going to choose based on your search traffic and your keyword volume or your keyword rank. So anything that's at the mid to bottom of page 1 or top of page 2. So anything between positions 4 and I would say 13 or 14, anything in there can be something that you want to target ahead of time. You want to target early in 2022 because that can be low-hanging fruit, so you can start to see some quick wins. From there, you're going to want to make sure that you are creating content that your customer is looking for. So you want to make sure that your customer finds value when they come to your website and that you're writing for them, not the search engine. Now, you also want to make sure that you are targeting content and targeting keywords within your content, targeting keywords that your website can rank for. So this is the most important part of all of the content development and keyword ranking discussions that we will ever have, is that you need to choose a keyword that your website can rank for. And I teach a whole lot about this in my free trainings as well as in my paid class, because this is the most important part. Now you're going to want to think about, what are you launching? So you're going to want to get a planning calendar, whether it is, I'm looking off side here, I have my big dry erase one that I keep in my office. I love having it on the wall where I can look at it and I can glance and I know exactly what's going on. You can do it digitally, you can do paper, you can do dry erase on the wall, it doesn't matter. Use the type planning calendar that works for you. I want you to take a look at your calendar and I want you to plan in any product launches. If you are launching a new product or a new service in 2022, I want you to put it on your calendar. Choose your date for when you are launching that, because we are going to use that date to work backwards to figure out when we need to add our content to the website so that SEO has a chance to work to help us with that launch. I also want you to go through and pick your holidays and pick your vacation days. And if you're like me and you're a mom with a young child or young children at home, then you may also want to put the school schedule on there. I have every school holiday because I'm the one who works from home, so those are my days to cover. My husband does not have the same flexibility. So if there's a school holiday, that's me, which means I can't be launching something big on a week where my 6-year-old is home with me. So you want to look at all of that. Put your personal commitments, your family commitments, and your business commitments on the calendar and make sure you have enough room and enough time to get things done. And then you're going to want to work on creating new content. So if you have new products or services coming out, you're going to need a dedicated page for whatever that product or service is. You're going to need some blog posts to help support it, to help drive additional traffic to it. So you're going to need to think about that. SEO takes time. SEO can take 12 to 24 months to really show a huge improvement, to really see a big return on your investment, but you can start to see some smaller, quick wins in a shorter period of time. I would recommend you work 1 to 2 quarters in advance, so 1 to 2, 3 to 6 months in advance for any new product or service that you are going to offer, meaning start talking about it on social, start writing about it in your blog posts, start adding videos about it if you do YouTube and you use your videos on your website. And then make sure you're choosing keywords that you can rank for. Then get your page or your sales page or whatever up on your website when you're ready to launch. But start putting that content out there into the Google search engine so it has a chance to start working and start being found and discovered, and then people will hopefully be able to see that pop up as well as your sales page or your product page, your services page. You want to give yourself some time in advance. Now, what we're going to work on, so we talked about we're going to plan at least a quarter in advance, maybe work even 2 quarters in advance. I want you to set goals. How many of you set goals right now for the quarter or even for the year? You can just put it in chat if you want, but I'm just curious. So I personally do quarterly goals, and then sometimes I'll have an annual goal, but it's like that I'm going to launch a new product. So it's a big thing, and then I break it down over the course of a couple of quarters to get it done. You're going to want to think about, what are you doing? What are you tracking? You're going to set your goals. This is also one of the best ways to avoid shiny objects, because shiny objects can be hard for all of us. We see it and we think it's going to be the thing that changes it. So the easiest way to avoid shiny objects is by relying on your goals. how does this decision to pursue X shiny object get me closer to achieving one of my goals? If that X shiny object does not get you closer to achieving one of your goals, it's not the right time to pursue that shiny object. You can reevaluate when you get closer to the point of making your goals for the next quarter or the next year. Maybe it's something you want to bring in the future, but for today, it might not be the right thing for your business. Now, the last thing I want to remind you of here is I want you to make sure that you are aligning all of your content with your goals. So your goals are going to be tied to making money in your business. They're going to be your products and your services. I want you to make sure that your content you're creating and optimizing ties to your products or services. That way, as we get that great content out there and we get it optimized so people are finding it, they're coming to your website, you have what they're looking for, and your product or service is the solution that they need. That's how we make money through SEO, is by providing valuable content for our client, our potential customer, and then when they get to the website, we make it easy for them to find what they need. So now we've got an idea what we're doing, what we're focusing on, how we're going to do all of this. Now I want you to get ready to track your results for 2022 so that when it comes time to do this for 2023, it's easy for you. You're going to want to look at your keywords. Choose a maximum of maybe 10 that are your most important keywords for your business. If you end up having more than that because you're doing a blog and you're blogging weekly and you have more opportunities, great. But start with a max of about 10. And then as you start blogging regularly, you can add to that. But you're going to want to look at those keywords and check the rank on them once a month. If you check it weekly, you're going to drive yourself crazy because, like I said, SEO flexes a lot and keyword rankings change significantly. They can go up, they can go down, and you can drive yourself crazy checking them out too often. So check them once a month. Use the same ranking tool to check them and keep track of it. So you know over the course of the year how you're doing for that keyword. Are you going up? Are you going down? That way you can determine, do you need to make changes to that page? Is there an opportunity to change something to make that keyword performance improve? And then I want you to look at your search traffic for the year. How are you doing? Are you getting more traffic to your website this year than you did last year? What about your percentage of SEO traffic? Are you getting more people from SEO than you did last year? You should be seeing an improvement in your SEO traffic as you work on building out your SEO performance or your SEO plan. You create your content, you optimize it. You should start seeing a larger percentage of your traffic come from SEO. Most of my clients see anywhere from 30 to 60% of their traffic come from SEO. It depends on what other marketing channels they use, along with how advanced their SEO program is. I have a few clients that are in the 60, 65, even 70% range. You can get a ton of traffic from SEO if you know how to optimize and how to target it, and you can create an SEO and content strategy that allows you to really get all that traffic. I have some who we've been able to completely do away with ads because we get enough from SEO that we stay full, which is fantastic. Then I want you to look at sales improvement. And if you have your analytics set up and you have your sales information in your analytics, you will know where your leads are coming from. You will know which channel is sending you, which channel is helping you make more money. Like if you have the Google Analytics integration done, you'll know exactly where your revenue is coming from. One final question I want to touch on. I have a lot of people who ask me, how do I figure out the ROI of my SEO efforts? And there's a lot of letters and acronyms there, isn't there? So your ROI is your return on your investment for your SEO work. And I know sometimes it can feel frustrating because it takes a while. You know, like I said, it can take 12 to 24 months to really see a big improvement in it. So it's a long-term investment. One of the best ways I've ever heard it described is to think of it as your retirement account. You keep putting a little in, a little every day, every blog post, every week, every month, whatever. You put a little bit in. And then suddenly it's like tiny growth, tiny growth, tiny growth, huge. And you kind of look back and you're like, oh yeah, that worked. But when you're in the thick of it, maybe you don't know that it's working as well as it is because it just takes time. So how do we figure out our savings? So one of the first things I look at is the savings on the ad spend. If you are currently spending money on ads because you need to supplement your traffic to your website to get more sales, there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of a great multi-channel marketing strategy, and having ads and SEO work together is a fantastic thing. As your SEO increases, though, you can often step back on your ad spend because you're now getting traffic that you would have previously had to pay for with an ad because you're ranking higher in the natural search results. So that's one of the first things that we see is we're able to step back our ad spend, which means we're actually saving money by using SEO. Then we look at keyword ranking improvements. So when we look at keyword ranking improvements, we look at how much traffic are we able to get from that rank. So if we have a keyword that we've been working on that has 1,000 visits a month, 1,000 searches a month, and we can move up to the point we get to position 1, well, we know based on the studies and the research, we're getting between 34 and 37% of the traffic. So we can say 340 to 370. So for ease right now, let's just say 350. So if we have one keyword and we've been working on it and we finally got to position 1 and it has 1,000 searches a month, we know that we're now getting about 350 searches a month from that one keyword. Now imagine if we had that 10 times over. That's where we start to see that compounded interest effect, that compounded effect of SEO, that long term. Because while we might get 1 quickly, to get 10 takes a little while. But now rather than having 350 visits, we have 3,500. Imagine what 3,500 more visits from people who are searching for products or services that you sell can do to your business's bottom line. The next thing you can do, if you're curious, how much money is it saving you? Then you can take a look at what would it cost you to bid through paid search? What would it cost you to bid on that? So let's say we have that one keyword that's 350. I'm just trying to keep this easy because I'm doing math in my head on the fly on a video. So let's say it's a keyword that's $2 per click. So to get there previously, to get traffic for that keyword, I would have been paying $2 per click. I'm getting 350 free clicks, which means it's $700 that I didn't have to spend because I was able to rank for that keyword. That's where SEO can really start to show you a fantastic ROI. You didn't pay anything to get there. You just did the time and effort to learn how to do SEO the right way and to build your business and to build your content. And now you're ranking and you're getting traffic for free, and it's actually saving you the equivalent of $700 a month that it would have cost you in ads to get that same traffic that's now free. That's where you really start to see the ROI. Then the next step, if you're in Google Analytics and you're familiar with it, you can set up goals in your analytics, and you can tie those goals to conversion events on your website. Like mine personally, I have it tied to my opt-ins and my sales pages and my course information pages, so I know what channel sends me every lead that I get in my business, because I want to know that the work I'm putting in, the effort I'm putting in, is making a difference for my business's bottom line. The same as you want to know that, right? So you can set up those goals in Google Analytics. Then when you go and you do your reports and you look at your website traffic, or you look to see how many people opted in this year, you know by a percent breakdown how many of those leads were free. They were from SEO versus how many are converting from your ads, maybe your Facebook ads or your Google ads. So it's really helpful to have that. And then if you're ready, that's it for the training part today. I'm going to give you a couple links up here that are real easy for you. you want the SEO Quick Start Guide. That is my opt-in, but it's going to walk you through exactly what you need to do on your website or blog. It's going to give you all the information on your keywords, your ideal customer, your title tags, your meta descriptions, your image file names, all of that. So if you're ready to jump into SEO, then this is going to be a great one for you. I'm going to go ahead and leave that up there. And then let me see if I can add in another offer here. Okay, I think I have to remove that one. If you are curious, you're ready to join me, you want to try my Simple SEO course, I would love to have you in it. You can learn more here. It'll give you a chance to work with me to learn all about SEO, and it will teach you everything from how Google works, how to choose the right keyword, all the keyword rules you're going to need to know. It'll go into exactly what to do on your page, your website or blog, along with it's going to show you all the stuff we talked about in Google Analytics today, so that when it comes time to do your 2023 planning, it's a lot easier for you because you're super familiar and you have those goals set up and all the things that we talked about. So if you have any questions, I'll be here for another minute or two in the chat. Just go ahead and leave me a question, or you can email me. I'm Rachel@etchedmarketing.com, or you can always find me on Insta at etchedmarketing. Or at Etched Marketing Academy. I can't even talk. All right. You have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you found it super helpful, and good luck to you in 2022. I can't wait to hopefully get to celebrate with you and see your wins. Have a great day.